headlines for this hour on VTV News. Vietnam makes significant progress in public financial management reform. And Central Bank works on protecting banking service users. In world news, French Prime Minister urges United Front to stop far-right takeover.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. State President Tô Lâm expressed his delight at the strong development of the Vietnam-New Zealand strategic partnership over the past years while hosting a reception in Hanoi on Thursday for newly appointed New Zealand ambassador to Vietnam, Befort. The state president highlighted the significance of 2025, which marked the 50th founding anniversary of bilateral diplomatic ties and the 5th anniversary of the Vietnam-New Zealand strategic partnership, and is considered as an opportunity for two nations to plan meaningful activities, including high-level visit to solidify cooperation across all areas and propel the relationship to a new height. The New Zealand ambassadors, for her part, also held that 2025 is a prime opportunity for New Zealand and Vietnam to further strengthen and deepen the bilateral relationship. She hoped that Vietnam, which is serving as the coordinator of ASEAN-New Zealand relations from July 2024 to July 2027, will contribute to solidifying ties between New Zealand and the Southeast Asian region. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn on Thursday hosted a reception for delegations of Laos and Cambodian women and female entrepreneurs who came to Hanoi for a forum connecting businesswomen of the three countries. The top legislator emphasized that the Vietnamese party and state consistently prioritizes gender equality and the development of women, reflected in the issuance of numerous relevant directives, policy, strategies, projects, and laws. He expressed his belief that these occasions, the three women's union will continue exchanging experiences and successful models, along with connecting female entrepreneurs from the three countries so that women in general and female entrepreneurs in particular can make significant contributions to construction and development effort in each country and the region at large. At the meeting, the president of the Laos Women Union and the vice president of the Cambodian Women for Peace and Development provided updates on activities of their respective unions. They pledged to continue upholding their traditions and reinforcing ties with the Vietnam Women's Union to improve the professional capacity and performance of their respective unions. Vietnam has made significant strides in public financial management reform over the past decade, achieving A and B+ scores in 11 out of 31 indicators under the recently announced PEFA program by the Ministry of Finance and the World Bank. PEFA provides a framework for measuring and recommending sustainable reforms in public financial management.
According to the report, Vietnam has achieved fiscal discipline, strategic resource allocation, and improved resource efficiency. Among the 31 indicators, Vietnam scores 4 A's, 8 B's and B+, 8 C's, and 11 D's and D+.
Vietnam has effectively controlled spending through the state treasury, leading to a reduction in outstanding spending debt. Additionally, budgetary spending debt was minimal, amounting to 1.2% of GDP in 2023. Public debt stands at 40% of GDP, a comparatively low figure when benchmarked against other countries globally.
Improvements in budget management, based on fiscal discipline and transparency aligned with international standards, are key factors for international organizations raising Vietnam's long-term national credit rating.
The government has managed its budget relatively prudently, and running relatively modest fiscal deficits.
Despite the significant progress made in institutions and public financial management, there are still unresolved issues.
Non-budgetary revenue and expenditures are high and not yet consolidated into annual budget reports or publicly disclosed. There is a need to align policy, financial planning, and budgetary plans. Government reports need to be publicly disclosed and audited to enhance transparency and attract foreign investors to Vietnam.
The strengths and weaknesses highlighted in the PEFA report serve as the foundation for the Ministry of Finance and other government bodies to research and propose solutions for improving public financial management and efficiency. This aims to boost Vietnam's national credit rating and foster sustainable growth.
It is forecast that the total retail e-commerce revenues for goods in 2024 could grow to nearly $30 billion, a 45% increase compared to the same period last year. This accounts for approximately 14% of the country's total retail sales of goods. According to a statistic from the e-commerce data platform Metric, total revenue from Shopee, Lazada, Tiki, Sendal, and TikTok Shop in the first 6 months is estimated at over $6.1 billion, up 78% compared to the same period last year. Among them, Shopee continues to lead, garnering 67.9% of the market share. The domestic market in the second half of the year is expected to continue its upward trend as economic growth recovery momentum is maintained and basic macroeconomic foundations remain stable. In the first 5 months of this year, cyber fraudsters have stolen more than $166 million, representing 94% of last year's total fraud losses. To counter this, biometric authentication requirements were introduced on July 1st to prevent fraudulent transactions through unauthorized accounts. And within 3 days of implementation, notable results have been achieved.
Measures are in place to prevent the use of deepfake technology for fraudulent bank transfers. A comprehensive payment account monitoring system, along with an interconnected e-wallet system across all banks, supplemented by data from the Ministry of Public Security, ensures early warnings of attempted fraud for customers.
Credit institutions and payment centers will leverage this system to detect suspicious accounts, employing green, yellow, and red indicators to enhance customer safety.
According to the Ministry of Public Security, fraud methods include impersonating reputable agencies, investment scams, romance scams, and using malware-infected applications for blackmail. Biometric authentication aims to prevent illegal financial activities such as gambling, money laundering, terrorist financing, and fraud.
Large criminal groups, comprising hundreds of members, operate professionally to sustain themselves. Starting July 1st, individuals in Vietnam were notified to update their biometric information at banks, in compliance with the state bank's decision.
Account identification provides an additional layer of protection. Even if a phone is stolen, thieves cannot access the bank account without undergoing biometric authentication.
Online shopping has emerged as a global trend, bringing many benefits to both buyers and sellers. In Vietnam, more and more local small and medium-sized businesses have leveraged these advantages to boost their agricultural products revenue online.
This woman chose to sell her products on a live stream. After a few months, 15 food items from her business have become popular among many customers.
I mainly sold my products through offline channels. Since we started to invest in online sales channels, our items have reached a wider customer base, both domestically and internationally.
Many agricultural products displayed on e-commerce platforms have selling prices 3 to 5 times higher than those only sold offline due to good quality and packaging.
Since we started to sell our products online 3 years ago, we noticed that our online sales revenue has doubled. Moreover, our customers are also content with the quality of our produce.
At first, businesses found it difficult to sell products online. After a period, they got used to it and witnessed a rise in their profits.
This improvement is due to the benefits of e-commerce, such as access to new customers and high scalability.
Vietnam's agricultural, forestry, and fishery exports are valued annually at over 53 billion US dollars. This figure will be even higher if domestic producers successfully increase their products' output and revenue through digital platforms.
Coming up next on VTV News. Paying social insurance for 15 years entitles to monthly pension. And farmer deploys farming models to adapt to climate change. The retail sale prices of petrols and other fuels were adjusted up from 3 p.m. on Thursday, July 4th by the Ministry of Industry and Trade and the Ministry of Finance. Accordingly, the price of E5 RON92 biofuel rose by 447 Vietnam dong to 22,461 Vietnam dong, or $0.88 US per liter, while that of RON95 went up to 93 cents per liter. Meanwhile, diesel 0.05S is now sold at 83 US cents a liter. Two ministries decided not to use a petrol's price stabilization fund. The social insurance law recently passed by the National Assembly has a new point, which is the shortened period of social insurance contributions to receive retirement benefits. So what are the opinions of employees and business owners? More in the following report.
As an environmental sanitation worker, Hua's daily work is quite hard because she has to take care of trees along the roads of many streets. If she has to work for 20 years before retiring, it's difficult for her to be able to keep up the job.
Working outside in the sun is hard. If the social insurance payment period is long, my health really can't take it.
Due to the condition of their work, many workers were not healthy enough to work until they could receive their pension. The new regulation reduces the minimum social insurance payment period to receive pension benefits from 20 years to 15 years, opening up the opportunity for many workers to receive pensions.
Paying insurance for 20 years is too long. Some feel they cannot bear it and will withdraw the insurance before the term ends.
I think insurance payment period of 15 years is more suitable than 20 years.
The shortened social insurance payment period is a motivation for workers to keep up the job, especially those who have to do heavy work. It's also a chance for enterprises to attract workers of nearly 40 years old.
With the new policies of paying insurance of 15 years, we can recruit better workers and the workers can also enjoy better benefits.
Instead of withdrawing social insurance at once, workers who retire after 15 years of work are encouraged to continue participating in voluntary social insurance until they are 60 years old to receive a pension.
This change makes social insurance more attractive to workers. Those who have withdrawn social insurance once can now continue to pay social insurance again.
Although the amount of money that employees receive will be lower when the contribution period is shortened, the number of people participating and receiving pension benefits will increase. From July 1st, 2025, when the new law comes into effect, there will be 100,000 people eligible for pensions.
More than 5 kilometers from the commune center is the village of the Hmong ethnic group located in Khâu Bung Hamlet, Vô Diem Commune, Bắc Quang District, Hà Giang Province. For the past 40 years, more than 90% of Hmong people from Hoàng Su Phi, Xin Men have settled in this land. Since 2021, along with the recognitions of protest and religious activities, a special model has been established to help them change their ways of thinking and gain better income.
The Hmong People's Village in Khao Bung Hamlet has 22 households, with more than half classified as poor or near poor. Therefore, the special model of Hmong villages is a solution for them to escape poverty. The model includes the 3 don'ts: don't follow strange religions, don't violate the law, and don't follow backwardness. And the 5 do together: build the political system together, ensure security and order together, develop the economy together, preserve and promote cultural identity together, and protect the environment together.
Thanks to the government support, our family now earns $2,357 per year.
We let people sign commitments to ensure security and order, not follow strange religions, and work together to develop the socio-economic situation.
With new livestock and crop models being deployed, the Hmong people's lives have changed. There are currently only 4 poor households and 1 near poor household, while the rate of educated families has reached over 60%.
We will continue to replicate and upgrade the model to the provincial and central levels so that it can be widely applied in our district.
With solidarity and the support of locals and officials, the model of Hmong villages has contributed to ensuring security and order in the locality, preserving unique cultural features, and developing the economy.
Nguyen province has been proactive in implementing scientific projects and effective practices to support livestock and crop farming, adapting to the region's harsh natural conditions. Successful models in mountainous districts like Tân Kỳ and Quy Hợp have helped farmers maintain their livelihoods and reduce dependencies on unpredictable weather, ensuring resilience against crop failures.
The 2 sheds totaling over 2,000 square meters accommodate nearly 11,000 ducks. One's family would find it challenging to manage such a large-scale operation with traditional methods. The household utilizes the system that pumps water through cooling pads surrounding the shed. The water is collected in a tank and recirculated by spraying it on the roof and through the cooling pads.
With temperature control, I can mitigate concerns about heat affecting the ducks. This ensures minimal losses, promotes optimal growth, and leads to higher profits compared to traditional raising methods.
In mountainous Quy Hợp, households are encouraged to grow medicinal plants due to selective weather and soil conditions. Sun's 2,000 square meter plot, previously used for acacia and sugarcane, now includes organic Solanum procumbens.
Income increased significantly, growing a key cultivating medicinal plants annually yielded nearly $1,200.
Over the past decade, Nguyen has increasingly experienced climate change impacts, as reported by the Department of Agriculture and Rural Development. To boost community resilience, projects prompting new farming and aquaculture methods have been implemented.
The Provincial People's Committee instructed the Department of Agriculture to implement projects locally. Agencies and units under the department are tasked with directly guiding farmers and households to swiftly and practically apply standardized processes and techniques.
In Nguyen, various localities are concurrently promoting communication efforts and advocating for the utilization of credit and social policies. This encourages people to confidently adopt scientifically driven models tailored to their environment, thereby aiming to achieve high productivity.
Beating out 8 million other destinations, the full-day tour to Ning Bing from Hanoi has been named among the top 10 experiences in the world for 2024 by TripAdvisor readers. The world's largest travel platform urges readers to escape the hustles and bustles of Hanoi for a day to immerse themselves in natural beauty through a tour of Ning Bing, during which visitors can walk, bike, and cruise through picturesque villages with opportunities to take photos of many scenic spots. In recent years, Ning Bing has consistently ranked among the top of many surveys on prestigious international travel websites. The Ning Bing Tourism Week held last June also attracted nearly 300,000 visitors, including more than 60,000 international tourists. Before COVID-19, Russian tourists to Vietnam were the largest in number from European countries, with nearly 650,000 arrivals in 2019. After the pandemic, this number is slowly but gradually recovering. Within the framework of the Vietnamese Culture Date in Russia, Vietnamese tourism is expected to welcome more Russian tourists.
The photo exhibition, Vietnam, the Land of World Heritages, in Moscow recently attracted the attention of many Russian people. Impressive photos of Vietnam's natural heritage recognized by UNESCO, along with handicrafts and traditional costumes, act as symbolic invitations for tourists to explore Vietnam.
I have been to Vietnam 4 times, and after this event, I decided to come to Vietnam for the 5th time.
Hundreds of Russian tourism businesses attended the program to introduce Vietnamese tourism. Accordingly, the attractions of Vietnamese tourism were emphasized: safety, beautiful natural scenery, unique cultural values, and delicious cuisine. There were also suggestions from experts to increase the attractiveness of tourism to Vietnam.
Not many Russians know about Vietnam, so travel agencies need to open more programs to promote it.
I hope the banks of the 2 countries can cooperate more to make currency conversion more convenient when traveling. Vietnam also needs to build more entertainment areas for both adults and children.
The most important solution is the means of transportation. Before COVID-19, the number of Russian visitors to Vietnam reached 650,000 visitors per year, but in the first 6 months of this year, it only reached 108,000. This is because direct flights from Russia to Vietnam have not resumed.
A very important solution now is to focus on restoring direct flights between Russia and Vietnam.
Russian tourists love the type of resort tourism associated with coastal ecotourism. Vietnam has the potential in this segment, and thus it is expected that there will be an increase in the number of Russian tourists in the coming months.
Coming up next in World News, French Prime Minister urges United Front to stop far-right takeover. And 1.5 million Singaporeans to receive up to $850 in cash in August. French Prime Minister Gabriel Attal on Wednesday urged voters to form United Front to block the far right in the second round of the legislative elections. More than 200 candidates from the left and the center this week dropped out of 3-way races in the second round of the contest, aiming to prevent the far right winning seat. In theory, to achieve an absolute majority, Marine Le Pen's far-right National Rally Party needs to have at least 289 of the 577 seats in the National Assembly to be able to form a government on its own. However, most predictions after the first round of elections show that the far-right National Rally Party was unlikely to win as expected. About 1.5 million Singaporeans will receive 850 Singapore dollars or $450 US in cash in August. The disbursement in part of the GST vouchers or GSTV program, which help low and middle income earners cope with the increase in goods and services taxes over the past 2 years. Under the GSTV, eligible recipient will get an additional 150 Singapore dollar or 100 US dollar as compared to last year, depending on the annual value of their home. Adult Singaporeans with an accessible income of up to 34,000 Singapore dollars and living in homes with annual values of up to 21,000 Singapore dollars will receive 850 Singapore dollars, while those whose homes with annual values of more than 21,000 Singapore dollars and up to 25,000 Singapore dollars will receive 450 Singapore dollars. In total, GST voucher disbursement will amount to 1.4 billion Singapore dollars in cash payout. The Colombian government seized a total of 196 tons of cocaine during a multinational drug crackdown that ran from May 15 to June 30th. Those are part of the large-scale anti-drug operation Orion 13, with the participation of anti-drug forces from 62 countries in Americas and Europe. During the Orion 13 operation, the Colombian Navy said it seized 112 transport ships, 9 semi-submersibles, 5 aircraft, and arrested a total of 744 drug traffickers. In addition, authorities also seized more than 164 tons of cannabis and destroyed hundreds of drug processing facilities. Orion 13 was launched in 2018 with the cooperation of Colombia and 38 countries. Counter-narcotics operations are conducted in the air, on land, and in the waters of the Caribbean, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans. Volunteers in a town near the Philippine capital, Manila, have come up with their unique way to educate local residents about the importance of environmental protection by exchanging plastic trash for rice. This initiative quickly received widespread support. More to follow.
Spearheaded by Julio Indaya and his group of volunteers, the Plastic Pallet Bigas, or Plastic in Exchange for Rice, program, involves residents of the town of Mabini exchanging sacks of litter collected from their beach, regardless of their weight, for a kilogram of rice.
I've seen sea turtles entangled in nets and other types of plastic. They've been known to eat straws and plastic bags. And the fish also eat microplastics that have been, broken down in the shore. And recently we've been finding more and more microplastics even in fish that we eat. So it's also harmful to us.
The project is funded by donations from private individuals and small companies that advocate for marine conservation. Since cleanup efforts began in October 2022, more than 4,300 kilograms of garbage have been collected and exchanged for a total of 2,600 kilograms of rice.
The exchange of trash for rice is a huge help for us, because in a month I need 4.5 sacks of rice. But now all I have to buy is 2 sacks, which is a huge help in saving money. It also helps the environment, and it shows when our surroundings are clean.
The Philippines is the planet's worst polluter when it comes to releasing plastic waste into the ocean, accounting for 36% of the total input globally, according to an updated April 2022 report by the Our World in Data project at the University of Oxford.
And now let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.